Hey peeps, welcome back. We are talking love during lockup, season 5, episode 28. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. All right, so this episode starts off with Ayana and Jamal, and it's the same old Ayana. You know, every episode, I don't know why I go into it with hopes that she is going to snap out of this, thinking to myself, you know, the closer it gets to her going off to prison, is the light bulb finally going to pop on in her head and she realizes that the world does not revolve around her. This wasn't that episode. Okay, she is still the same selfish, spoiled, entitled young lady. Actually, she's a girl. You know what I mean? She might be 27 or 28 years old, but she acts as if she is a 16-year-old teenager. I'm sorry, 16-year-olds. I've seen 16-year-olds that have better emotional intelligence than this girl. I apologize. Anyway, she's still having a tantrum, still throwing a fit over the judge's goal, you know, to tell her that she can't feed her child during the middle of Zoom court, and, you know, the judge actually wanting to be civil in court. This girl is too damn much. Okay, the world does not revolve around you. One thing that I learned at a very young age: no one owes you anything, and life is not fair. You have to get out there, grind, and work hard for everything that you get. If you didn't want to deal with judges, police, lawyers, and you didn't want to go to jail, you should drive sober. Okay? You should drive sober. You should also drive with insurance and a license. Be responsible when you're behind the wheel of a 2-ton, if not more ton vehicle. You should be also extremely blessed that all you got was 4 years probation and 15 days in jail. Because you best believe she could have given you a stiffer sentence, because this is your second DUI, not your first. Not only that, you should be thanking the Lord that you didn't hurt or kill anybody else. You are a mom. Start thinking like one. So all she cares about is getting to Jamal. It's prison visitation day, and she is pissed off that the judge has taken up so much of her time trying to hand down her sentence. You know, I bet you 9 times out of 10 that Zoom call with her sentencing could have been a lot smoother and a lot faster if she would have woke up early, got her little baby situated, fed her, and put her in a playpen or put her in a little swing or something, set her down in front of her favorite little Blues Clues or Miss Rachel or whatever shows little tiny babies watch. My son is a senior in college. I don't know what tiny babies watch anymore. My son used to like Dragon Tales. Anyway, let me go on. We watched Thomas the Train. We had us a lot of nice shows. I didn't like him to watch Caillou because I thought that little boy was bad. Anyway, how did we get there? Let me go and move on. Anyway, she has to turn herself in at 11 o'clock in the morning the next day. But she is so hell-bent on making it to see Jamal. I said, you know, if I was going to jail for 2 weeks and being away from my children for 2 weeks, especially the little tiny one that lives with her, because the oldest son is probably used to not seeing her very much because he's being raised by her mother, I said I would want to spend all of my time with those babies and explaining to them how much mama loves them and trying to explain to them that I would be away for a couple of weeks. Let them know, even though I'm going to be gone, I love you and I miss you and I'm going to call, you know, something. Do something nice with them. But it's all about her. Even her friend says that she has always been like this, that she has always lived in this delusional world and everything is about her. This is a no-go for me. I could never be friends with someone who behaves like this. And also, if you are my friend and I truly do love you and you behave like this, I can't stand by and watch this behavior. I'm going to hold you accountable for your actions. I'm going to call you out on the bullshit. And that is something that me and my friends and my entire family, that is something that we do. Will we call you out and embarrass you in front of other people? No. But will we pull you to the side Or will we wait till we get home or into the car to tell you, listen, this behavior is definitely wrong. The world does not revolve around you. Your attitude is stank. Please stop doing this. This is a bunch of bullshit, your behavior here. I could not do it. No, ma'am. I do not feel sorry for her at all. I cannot bring myself to feel sorry for her. I will shed absolutely no tears for this girl and her behavior. She has spent every episode crying over Jamal and crying over her facing the consequences of her own actions. We have not seen her shed one tear about her going off to jail and not being able to be with these children. It's really crazy to me that Jamal, an inmate, is speaking more common sense. You are dealing with the decisions that you made. These are the consequences. At some point in your life, you are going to have to sit back and realize, I am my biggest issue. I have to accept accountability for my actions and stop blaming every person around you. You are the common denominator for all the problems that you are having. I think that it was very rude for her to jump in that car screaming and yelling at her friend. She only got 38 minutes with her man. And how many times are we going to hear, my man, my man, my man? If only they could give us $5 for every time she says my man. Listen, Ayana, I'm pretty sure that deep down you are an amazing person. But you really should seek some therapy. You have got to learn how to cope. You have got to learn how to deal with your emotions. You need to address your emotional well-being. You have zero coping skills. Everyone in this world is not against you, but everyone is not going to be with you either. You have got to learn to control yourself. The only person that can control your behavior is you. You are not setting a good example for your children. No, ma'am. I hope that when you get out of jail, that part of your probation is that you have to go to therapy and you have to start going to school or something. You need to start focusing on yourself and your children, your emotional well-being and those children, because they need to have an emotional, stable parent. And you are clearly not that. You can definitely do better. Andrew and Candice. All right, so it turns out that Candice is supposed to be at this halfway house. But this halfway house is in the neighborhood where she used to do all of her ripping and running, where she used to do all of her drugs and crime. So she's very triggered by this neighborhood. So she goes to the halfway house and she's in there for a few minutes, 20 minutes. And she comes back out and she tells Andrew that the guy in the halfway house tells her that she doesn't have to stay there. She can stay at the apartment and all she has to do is phone in, once a day. And she's not really sure if that's true, but she decides to go ahead and go to the apartment. I thought, no, ma'am, not me, girl. Because if the probation people were to stop by there and she not be there, she could get sent right back to jail. I would have at the very least got something in writing from the person at the halfway house and called and left a voicemail for the probation officer to let them know that, Rob Smith from the halfway house at 1:52 p.m. told me that I could just go back to the apartment, and I would give the address to the apartment. I would have given them Andrew's cell phone number. I would not want to go back to jail. Anyway, they decide to go back to the apartment so they can shower and sleep and get something to eat. She was absolutely floored by all the nice things that Andrew has purchased for her. And I said, you know what? She is definitely giving Bronwyn and Chaz, Andy and Brittany. The thing with her is when they get ready to go to bed, she explains that they can sleep in the same bed, but Andrew needs to sleep here. She's going to sleep there. There'll be no cuddling, touching, no hugging, no sex, period. I said, oh shit, this is definitely Brittany and Bronwyn. Absolutely. She says to production when they ask her, are you attracted to Andy? She freezes up a little bit and then she says, well, yes, that's a lie. And we don't need Maury Povich for it. That is an absolute lie. You are not attracted to Andy, but you are attracted to the things that Andy can give you. This is bullshit. She does not want him at all. She knew that she did not want him. She is only attracted to him taking care of her. That man brought her a truck. He brought her an engagement ring, an apartment full of furniture. He bought her clothes and makeup, everything that she has asked him for. And it's weird that, she says that she doesn't want to have sex or be intimate because it triggers her due to her past relationship. I said, isn't that what Bronwyn told Chaz? She didn't want to have sex with him because she had never had sex sober before and it just triggers her. I said, well, it's funny how, the apartment and the expensive truck and all the gifts and money didn't trigger you at all. No, not at all. Half of my heart goes out to Andy. The other half, not so much. Andy seems like a very nice man. He seems kind. He seems funny. Chaz, he came off a little creepy, But Andy comes off as a nice dude, but he comes off as somebody who really is desperate for love and affection. And the thing is Andy, you can find another lady who will love you and give you all the things that you want to give to her, but it's not Candice. Candice is not there for you. Candice is there for you to pay for her legal fight for her child, though. I think that this is a waste of his time. I think that she's giving him all of this stuff about her son and, her emotions. These are all things that you should have told him before he drove 36 hours to bring you a truck and pay for your apartment. And to be honest, if you were truly focused on your sobriety, your fight for your son, creating a new life for yourself, you wouldn't be in a relationship with Andy. You wouldn't be in a relationship with anybody because your focus would be on you and your child. You should be at the home of your parents or your siblings, a cousin, that friend that was over there on the phone with you while she was looking at all the items that Andy bought you. You would be staying with one of those people while you try to figure out what's going on with your relationship with your son. In my opinion, Candice is running a huge game on Andrew, and sooner or later, he's going to figure that out. And unfortunately, he's going to figure that out when he is completely devastated and broke. Joey and Michael. Now we find out at the top that Joey's mom had a brain aneurysm and a stroke. And she was so bad off that they allowed the family into ICU to say their goodbyes. Thank God his mom did not die. I am so happy that she is still with us. And my heart and my prayers go out to Joey and his family. Joey, listen. Michael is a liar and a user. You would be an absolute fool to let this man continue to be a part of your life using you this way. He cannot be honest to you about when he's getting out of jail. And in my opinion, I believe that he knows exactly when he's supposed to get out of jail. And he is just using you. The man caused you to relapse. If he got out of jail and brought more craziness into your life and you fall off the wagon again, do you realize the devastation that you would do to your already ailing mother and to your father? Your entire family has been there for you, rooting for you, protecting you, supporting you throughout this entire time. For you to allow this trick to be in your life and pull you back down into meth hell would be absolutely devastating to this family. The best thing for you to do is to focus on yourself. And as I said before, I am not an expert on addiction, never claimed to be. But I know I have seen somewhere where they said that two newly recovered addicts should not be in a relationship together. You are trying to get yourself back together. And Michael, Lord knows what this guy is doing. He is probably still using in the prison. He is clearly not good for you. And you have got to realize that. And according to Starcasm, allegedly as of today, Michael is still in custody at the Idaho State Correction Institute. His parole hearing is scheduled for sometime this month, but his sentence satisfaction date is May 7th of 2029. So this dude is still in jail, which I'm thankful for, which means he is not terrorizing Joey's life. Joey, listen, it's time to move past this. Find you some sober man locally. Get you some sober friends and start living your best life while supporting your parents. Shante and True. Honey, now listen. Shante is on her way to meet True's mom and sister. She invites her children. Her son said, no, I'd rather go to school. I said, Even your own children know that this is a bunch of foolishness. This is a bunch of foolishness. I'm concerned about this woman. I really am. Her and her niece, they drive a couple hours or so and they get a chance to meet True's mom and True's sister. True's mother, it turns out they have not had a close relationship since he went to jail. I guess he went to jail at the age of 18. He's now 31 and he's probably still 18 in his mind. I guess when he went to court for his burglary, his mom testified against him, and also let his co-defendants know that they should testify against him as well. Maybe this was his mom's way of trying to save him before he just went into a total life of crime, or before he got, taken out in these streets. I have no idea. That could be her way of trying to shield him and save him. Yes, he'll be in jail, but at least he'll be in jail and alive. That's the only thing I can think of. However, I think that his mother was trying to warn Shante quite a bit. She gives her several tips about this dude. I said, this dude has, from the very first episode of them being on there, has been a huge red flag. In every episode that they are on there, they add about 3 or 4 more flags. I said, you know what? He could represent all of NATO. Every country of NATO could be represented with all the red flags that this dude is showing. They're talking on the phone while sitting around the table with, it's her, his mother, his sister. He cannot say why he asked her to marry him. She tells the family that him and her are going to live together. His mother said, that's not what he told me. He gets on the phone and he acts as if he never told her that. He is gaslighting the shit out of her. He is manipulating and using her. His mother looks her in the eye and she says, is it possible that he could be using you? And she says, well, I know people who are out and they're in relationships and they are being used. Okay, so is it okay to be used? Does that make it all right because they're out and being used? No, ma'am. Then his sister says, you realize he's never dated a black girl before, right? And she says, yeah. His sister is telling you something. She is saying you are not his type. She even said that. She is not his type. And she's pretty sure that he's using her and that this relationship is not going to last. What is wrong with this girl? The mother says, well, why haven't you gone to see him in prison? She's got her reasons, but she didn't want to tell the mother the reasons. What are the reasons? Is the reason that you don't want to go see him in jail is because there's no filters in prison and you have to see each other for real, and you think that it's possible that he won't be attracted to you? Could that be? And his mom told her, how are you going to be engaged to someone that you have never met? Oh, we talk and we this and we that. Please. People are able to fool you in person, face to face. You know good and damn well people can be whoever the hell they want to be on video chat, on the phone, in letters, text messages. You are being played. She then says, I love him and that's never going to change. His mom said until you get to meet him in person and see that he's a jackass. Facts. Listen, when a person's mother tells you about them, you need to listen and believe it. You are sitting there as a grown woman getting all of this information from his mother and his sister. They are telling you not behind your back, but in your face, that you are being used. You are not his type, that he is about to play the dog shit out of you, pretty much, and you are still standing strong in this relationship. This makes no sense to me. You are being a doormat. Then Sarcasm says that, remember in episode 2 when she told all of us that she was paying 2 mortgages? Sarcasm says that is a lie, that she was renting both of those places. She is currently being evicted for non-payment of rent. So she's been lying this whole time. They also say that she has a history of being evicted. So you are out here spending money on an inmate and you are being evicted multiple times. You are not handling your business as a grown woman or as a mother. You should not have time for this dude. Not at all. We also find out that he's got a child, but he's been in jail for a majority of that child's life. This is just too much. The fact that she is a grown woman who cannot handle her own business as far as keeping a roof over the head of those children, it shows me that you are unstable. How the hell is it that you're going to be able to open a restaurant? And I'm disgusted. Life is hard as hell. It really is. Listen, you seem like a nice lady. You seem like someone who is hardworking. You have that job as the manager of the Whataburger. You need to focus on yourself and your children. Let True go. This seems to be a big mistake, and you're walking into it head first with your eyes wide open. It makes no sense. You are too grown for this. Turn your think piece on. Last but not least, Rick and Samantha. Lord, Rick has decided that he is going to be a country singer. He's got a guitar. He has written a song he wants to sing to Samantha. She's supposed to call him at 6:30 because she calls him at 6:30 every single night. That's what they call date night. Honey, she doesn't call till 7:36. She's trying to get her point across. Rick sings her his song, and I said, oh shit. It reminded me of an old Golden Girls episode when Blanche's daddy sold everything and decided he was going to be a country singer. She said, no, Big Daddy, you're not. And you're not either, Rick. I'm just saying, that song was a mess. Anyway, good try though, Rick. I have never written a song. Anyway, Rick proposes again and she says yes. Oh, I love you, Rick. I love you. Anyway, Rick decides to scrape up the money. I bet he borrowed it from his friend, but he scraped up the money to fly out there to Idaho to see her and get married to this woman. Well, when he gets out there to Idaho, he gets picked up by his friend Ricardo. And I laughed a little because they are Rick and Ricardo. And I said, wasn't that Lucy's husband? Oh, I love Lucy. Ricky Ricardo. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, he says that Ricardo was his Uber driver the last time he flew down there to see her, and they ended up being real good friends, going to church together and everything. So Ricardo was his buddy. He tells Ricardo that he needs to get a ring for Samantha. And Ricardo said, all right, well, what kind of budget are we on? And he said, it's limited. Ricardo says, well, I'm going to take you over to the pawn shop. I said, okay. Now listen, the pawn shops, they do have some beautiful jewelry in there. And this is crazy and I do sound ridiculous, but I'm going to tell you anyway, peeps, because I usually tell you my business anyway. So I don't want anything from the pawn shop or from estate sales because I watch a lot of paranormal stuff and, you know, I think that things are haunted. I don't want some dead person's ring, you know, or some dead person's armoire, none of that. Because I know it sounds ridiculous. But no ma'am. No ma'am. Listen, there was a show that was on and they only had one season. And I think it was called Little Things or Small Things or something like that. I'll put a picture of it in the video so you can see it. And it was all kinds of stuff that went down paranormally. And one of them was about a ring that this man had got. Don't fool with me, okay? I don't want somebody else's stuff. Anyway, I know it sounds ridiculous. Leave me alone. I can tell that you are thinking I'm crazy as it is. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. They go to the pawn shop and there were some pretty rings in there, but I don't want them. Anyway, he explains to Ricardo that since she's in this prison home or wherever she is, She can't have any bling bling. I said, oh, look at that, saving you a little money, Rick. He ends up getting her a band that cost $90.08. I said, all right, all right. Then he goes down the list of stuff that she needs. She has a list as long as I am tall. I am 5'8", by the way. And I said, oh, hell no. Okay, she really did think that she married well. Rick is broke. Anyway, Ricardo, instead of taking him over to the Walmart, he takes him down to the local GNC. It looked like a GNC, but it wasn't. They showed the name of it. I forgot it. Anyway, he buys $496 worth of vitamins and supplements for this woman. Ricardo said, wait a minute, bro. Do you think that she is possibly selling this stuff? Is she a gold digger or is she just high maintenance? And he says, no, she's just high maintenance. Ricardo said, nuh-uh, he from the hood. And where he come from, this woman is either selling this stuff because she weigh about 115 pounds. He said, this don't make no sense. Listen, I like Ricardo. Okay, Ricardo is my type of people. He was very happy and very friendly, a nice dude. And Rick needs somebody to talk to him about this. I think that Rick is an absolute fool. This woman is still in jail as of today, according to Starcasm. So allegedly. And, you know, Rick, you a fool. Okay, she is using you. You are being swindled. Shante is being swindled. Andrew is being swindled. Y'all are all going to be sadly, sadly hurt when these relationships end. Rick, you are on a fixed income. Okay, you would have done better off getting in a relationship with Sandy. Okay, Sandy from the reunion who wanted to put it on you. Listen, you would have did better off talking to Sandy. At least Sandy is local. You don't have to fly anywhere. Sandy probably has her own income. Y'all could combine incomes together to create something. Sandy might need a rehab, but still, I'm just saying, this is too much. Rick, I don't want to see you go out like this. I really don't. But you are going to go down at the end of all of this. Anyway, peeps, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.